In next 4 months before December, I'll be challenging myself in getting funded 100k in total capital. Starting with passing a 5k account, getting a payout enough to buy another bigger capital. I'll be aggressive in every challenge phase and I won't be using one prop firm for this challenge.
Son, you know, once you start, there's no going back.
I know.
This means total commitment. Once you begin the path, there is no leaving the path. Are you sure you're ready for that?
Have you heard of the rules of 90-90-90 in trading? That says 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital in 90 days. I'm not going to be rushing anything. In this challenge, I'll be focusing on improving more financially rather than proving. Because at the end, I only got me to impress, not them, not anybody else. And how I'm planning to do this sounds very simple. If you think I'm going to purchase a 10k account, a 100k account and try to pass it at a time, then no, because I don't have that kind of money. It will be more of a journey and a process at the same time because I'll be scaling an account with a starting price of, with a starting amount of 5k. I've already orchestrated down a plan on paper on how to do this, but I'll give you guys just a tips of the plan. So here's the plan. In every challenge, I'll be purchasing 2 accounts. Like for example, the starting account, which is 5k, I'll be purchasing 2 accounts in case if one fail, I will still do have another chance to try. And when I purchase a 5k account, I will pass it, and after I pass it, I'll start working on getting paid out enough money to purchase another bigger account, 25k. And when I get the 25k, I'll get double account. When I pass it, I'll work on getting enough payouts, good enough to buy a 50k account, and this process will continue until we hit 100k. And I'm looking to do this in a short span of 4 months. That's why this challenge is going to be tough. It sounds simple, same time impossible for some traders, but believe me, it's achievable, and watch me give it a try. And this is not just an anyhow trader coming out to tell you this. I have a proven skills that has been profitable over time. And for every challenge phase, I will be very aggressive, but my risk management will be very, very tight. Now, in case if you're questioning my knowledge and experience with prop firm, let me brief myself. Last year, I lost a live 10k funded account due to drawdown. I lost it to drawdown, and I made a 5k live account a must-achieve goal this year. My first try on getting that goal accomplished this year was a failure, and you can find the whole video on this channel. I lost it to drawdown, but this time around, I'm giving it a second shot, and this time I'm going for something bigger, something many can only imagine of doing. I've already purchased a double account, a 2-step 5k account, because yeah, that's the first step. I took advantage of the 30% discount that this prop firm were offering. I took advantage of it and I purchased an account double with them. This is the account. I've already opened some trade in it. As you can see clearly, I've already opened some trade. Now my next week plan and target will be being up 4%. So my target next week on this account is making a $200 aggressively, but with tight risk management. I'll be risking only 0.5 in every trade. I'll be risking 0.5 in every trade, and I will be taking only 4 trades for a week. But those 4 trades will be an aggressive entry. So stay tuned. It's Monday and I'm just going to get ready for work first, and I have this set up on GU. I will show you guys later. First of all, let me get ready for work.
I'm
going to cut this hair because they're already looking too bushy. When I got to the junction, there were a lot of students on the road because today is Monday. I stood for like a whole 1 hour before I got this bike, but finally I was on my way to work. I closed this trade of last week that added an $83 profit, so we'll start a fresh week with fresh setups. So this Monday, I've already seen a trade on US oil already, and I'm just going to explain this trade. I also got another trade on US 30, I didn't have the time to explain this trade before it started running because I was very, very busy at work. So now, let me explain it. I'm just going to explain this US oil in a very clear, simple way. I don't want to complicate things. So as you can see clearly, US oil has been on a down trend due to the fundamentals of this US oil. So I'm just going to explain this trade itself. So the swing structure of this market is bearish, you understand? But we came here, we start seeing some kind of bullish reversal, substructure bullish reversal, because this market gave us a high here. We came here, made a low, we came here, formed a new high, came here, we formed another low, we came here, we formed another new high. Now already remember that this swing structure of this market is bearish, meaning that this market on a bigger time frame, on a long run, is going to be bearish. So after markets came into this place, it turned out to be a supply zone. It started reacting, you understand? We started reacting, and market flipped phase from this substructure bullish, reversed to bearish. You understand? With this move right here, it's reversed into bearish because this low here right now just broke out this structure right here. You understand? Now I'm not going to mark all these little structures right here, all these substructure things that are happening here, because none of it broke this high and none of it broke below. So all those things here, I'm not going to mark it out. I'm going to mark out those big moves. So after we got this break, listen. So after we broke this zone right here, after market broke this zone, I started looking for supply zones to sell from. And which this particular place was the only best supply zone I could get. You understand? This was the only best supply zone I could get, because every other supply zone, there's no other unmitigated level here aside from this particular one. And as you can see, when market got here, it's consolidated a little bit before giving us that big move. That's why I consider this place my selling point. I would have used this other place, you understand, but because this place wasn't strong enough to give us a break below this place, rather we saw some consolidation here. Buyers tried to push this market here, but sellers were still insisting. So this consolidation here before the massive break, so I took the sell from this supply zone where the market gave us a neat supply zone. So I'm targeting this swing low here, because this swing, if market breaks this swing low, then the swing structure trend, which is bearish, will continue. So this trade right now is currently running in good profit. So the time, so last time when I checked it, it was running at 1:2. That is $40. I remember our target this week is $200. So we are not even close yet to our target. Now that is it.
So just going back home right now, I had a very stressful day. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a very, very stressful day. I want to first go and get a haircut. Now before I go home, I want to go and get a haircut because I'm looking bushy, looking like one kind of abandoned son of Adam.
I know say anybody person will see me, now me I see. I be on and yow, living my life me so. But the me about my wow, carry your walla go foul. Baby me go down low, down. She love bad man gangsta.
Elle aime les vrais gangsters, ceux qui sont pas insta.
I just got home right now, and yeah, I really had a very, very stressful day, so I'll be going to bed very soon. But before that, there's this trade on NZD USD that I will plan to take tomorrow. The setup, I'll explain it in a moment. But before that, guys, there's something I want to tell you guys. I just discovered something now about trading. Trading have some similar thing with swimming, but let me explain. You know, when you're learning how to swim, or when you are inside the pool, you don't fight with the water because you will drown. Same thing happens with Forex. You don't fight Forex, you don't attack Forex because you will drown in Forex. Now, another thing when swimming is, when you're swimming, you have to make sure you have oxygen, that is air on your lungs. Because when you have oxygen on your lungs, you will automatically and naturally float. Same thing happens in Forex. Once you have the funds, you will automatically float. Once you just have the capital, you automatically float. Now, another thing where the thing even busts my head is risk management in trading and risk management in swimming. Now, in swimming, when you're swimming, you have to learn how to manage your oxygen so you don't run out of oxygen inside the water and get drowned. Same thing in trading, you have to learn how to manage your capital, because you might run, if you're not careful, you run out of oxygen, your capital, before the real moves even starts. And the only difference between trading and swimming is that trading gives you multiple life. Swimming just gives you only one shot at it. Once you drown, you drown. Once you just do anyhow, you are gone. Wow, that's just crazy though, how I just came up with that thought. But anyways, let's just head over to the chart and yeah, tomorrow we'll be looking at what market will give us tomorrow.
This New Zealand dollar trade is quite simple. I'm just trying to trade the substructure trend because the swing structure is bullish, is bearish. Now let me just explain what I mean by substructure. As you can see, this market is on a downtrend. We came here, we formed the high, we came here, we made a low, we formed another new high here, we broke structure to the downside, formed a new low, came here, formed a new high, broke structure again to the downside, formed a new low. So the swing structure of this market is bearish, but I'm buying, and this is the reason why. Remember that in every trend there's always going to be a trend happening inside a trend, you understand? That's why we have swing structure and substructure. So now let's read the substructure movement. You see right here, you see, after market broke this low here, understand, it left off with this supply zone here and this supply zone here. So these two supply zones will be acting as a magnet, you understand? We're acting as a magnet where price we get to in future and possibly will continue pulling back and like get new sellers momentum, you understand? So those two supply zones are acting as a magnet. Now let's read this chart here. After market made this low, we came here, we formed a high, formed a high, and came here, we formed a low. Now market shifted at this point here. In the substructure movement is a good trade opportunity to trade markets, to buy for a short term. This is a good opportunity to buy this market on a short term buy, having it in mind that anything I'm doing, any buy I'm taking here must not go beyond the supply zone here, you understand? So basically I'm trying to buy from a demand zone here with this supply zone as a magnet, you understand? Now let me explain something further here. As you can see here, we have double demand zones here. We have a number one demand zone here, we have a number one demand zone right here, and we have number two just at the next place, just here. We have another demand zone here, but the reason why I chose this one is very super simple. Now read this market structure with me. You see, after market made a double had a low here, we came here from the high. So this place is the highest point of this market from this last movement, from that last low. Now after we made this high, we saw some selling pressure came into this market, we had our new low. Now after the low, market came up here, this demand zone, the structure that created this demand zone came out up here, but wasn't strong enough to pull out above this highest high here, this highest high that market created here. Rather, we saw another selling pressure that came into the market, put it back a little bit before the break, you understand? So the reason why I'm not going to be buying this place is because it wasn't strong enough to break us into this new high here, you understand? Because it wasn't strong enough to pull us into this new high, though it has its own internal break of structure, but my concentration is on the one that broke us into a new high, you understand? So that's the reason why I'm taking this trade. So this trade is basically a supply, a demand zone. I'm using a demand zone for entry and supply zone for exit, and this trade is already running quite too far away from my entry point. I don't know, maybe if market pulls back, we'll buy from, we still keep looking. But if market doesn't pull back for us, and if market taps on this place, then I will close this trade and look to sell with a confirmation. So that's it on New Zealand dollar.
Today is Tuesday and I'm already on my way to work. But guys, something happened this morning on this account. Like,
something that wants to weaken my spirit. See, this morning I was trying to click on MT5 menu, that top down menu where you click and you get different plays. Unknowing to me, I accidentally opened 3 sell trades on gold. I didn't even notice. It was like after 30 minutes when I finished preparing for work, and I was like, why did my phone vibrate earlier? I didn't really think much about it. When I went to my MT5 now, I saw these 3 trades running in for the $85 loss. Like, bro, when I saw that loss, my spirit waking. Everything just started shaking in my body. Finally ended in $1990 loss, but I don't know. This thing just wants to kill my spirit already. This starting phase of this challenge, but no problem. We still there. Problem. Let me just get to work right now and show you guys one or two things on my charts.
The day 2 of this challenge was filled with a lot of setbacks, frustration and mistakes and bad lucks. The US oil trade reversed on me. The New Zealand trade didn't come back for me, and I made a terrible mistake trying to buy gold again this week. Like the same day, my phone also got damaged. Tuesday was a very bad luck day for me. I guess that mistake or trade of gold early morning, that early morning mistake was a sign. Like it messed up my whole day, my emotion. It got to a point that I started thinking of start trading the second option account, that is the second $5,000 account. But at that point I noticed that emotion have started playing in and I need to control it. I had to go off chat.
I need to go home right now, sleep. I don't want to check my chat. I don't want to check anything. I just want to go home right now and sleep. Then tomorrow I might just analyze everything that happened today. Why would Nigeria equalize game with South Africa?
And now with these losses now, I won't be trading for this week again because I've hit my limit of the week, which is 4 trade of the week. I've hit the limit, so I'm going off charts. Hopefully next week I'll recover this mistakes that I just made. This week was just the bad luck. We are not able to make our targets. Rather, we are 2% down. You see, our target was 4%, but we went 2% down. But that's not a problem. We will go again next week. Next week harder, and for sure, this challenge I must, even if I don't get 100k, I must at least hit 50% of my target before December. So that will be the episode 1 of this week 1 on this challenge. See you guys on next episode.